Welcome to Web Handling. My name is Dave Roysum. I am super excited to continue our new series on time constants. This week, we will be making a head-to-head comparisons of the time constants for moisture and temperature for both webs and rolls. Even though the physics are identical, the time scales are a bit different. If you haven't seen the first 4 episodes in this series, now might be a good time to do so. Recall that we can use the idea of time constants and the math of Fick's law to understand several important processes in a web. Those include moisture or temperature changes, both increasing and decreasing, and in both webs as well as in wound rolls. Also recall that we outlined how to get time constants for both webs and wound rolls, the latter taking longer and being slightly more difficult. Ta-da! Now the big reveal. How long does it take for webs to equilibrate to a new environmental condition? Let's start with a thin sheet of paper. How long does it take to get most of the way to equilibrium? The answer is, as we gave in an earlier episode, about 1 minute. Naturally, thicker paper takes longer. This short time constant tells us about test lab conditioning, why the splice offset occurs during paper winding, and why web break can occur on paper merely by stopping the winder. Review Web20180d for details. Now, what about thin film or foil? Well, it turns out that heating and cooling is noticeably faster. Thus, the time constant may be a few seconds or perhaps a minute depending on thickness. What this might inform us is whether we need to have a cooling roll. Or will transit time in the conduction on rollers alone be enough to cool a web from a forming temperature to a safe temperature to wind at, especially at lower speeds? Now for wound rolls. Let's begin with a typical shipping roll of paper that is 1.5 meters in diameter and 1.5 meters long. It takes about a year to mostly wet or mostly dry to equilibrium. This makes sense if you think about how long it takes for a really thick tree trunk to dry out after cutting it green. Of course, size matters. A toilet paper roll, being much smaller, has a time constant of about 1 day. And more importantly, a common fiber core size also takes about 1 day. And that informs us about core storage and handling, as I uncover in my advanced winding section of my Web 101 course. Now, let's consider a hot roll of metal. Again, about 1.5 meters in diameter by about 1.5 meters wide. It takes about a month, considerably faster than the same size of paper with regard to moisture. In summary, as we've seen in these examples, heat migrates roughly 10 times faster than moisture for similar geometries, i.e. similar web thicknesses and similar wound roll sizes. I hope you've enjoyed this comparison of moisture and temperature changes in webs and in wound rolls. Stay tuned for next week's show when we will discuss how long does it take for a wound roll to get out of shape during storage and handling. If you have a topic you would like to hear about, let me know in the comment section below. If you found anything interesting or useful here, please like and share and subscribe. See you next time.